Hello, my friends. This is the Vegematic Deluxe Show, and I'm here to do something important. And as soon as I figure out what that is, I will let you know. Hi, everybody. Well, it's another week past since I did the last Vegematic Deluxe Show. Got a lot of comments on that. The documentary only got 3 or 4 comments on it, but thanks for watching. I'd like to start off tonight by thanking my friend Ian for letting me know that YouTube has graciously unsubscribed him to my channel without telling him, but he rectified it, of course. And I often wondered how the sub numbers just stay the same for months and months and months and months and months, and I keep putting out regular content. There's a word that I keep coming across on the internet that describes everything that's going on these days in one really good word. It's the Enshitification of everything, particularly the internet, and how it's being used to hyper-capitalize everything. And now with AI, the thing with that is that when we were young, we were always told, hey, technology is the bomb. I mean, it's going to get us there. Nobody's going to have to do the crappy work anymore. It'll all be done by robots. Everybody's going to have tons of free time to do all kinds of creative things. Well, that's not happening. Instead, the AI is doing all the creative things that were formerly creative jobs. And there's still people who have to pick the produce out of the fields in the hot sun for pennies a day. You know, that's just the human condition and the enshitification of our culture. Yeah, it's the enshitification. Everything. I mean, the weather is terrifying, right? You don't know what's going to hit you, when it's going to hit you. We just don't know. And you look around the world and it's one country after another. Every single day there's a so-called natural disaster. And meanwhile, the powers that shouldn't be are stirring up more crap for war. And oh man, it's a mess. I've never seen things in such a mess. And I hear this from older people all the time. I'm so glad I'm not young now. It would be so much harder. But my heart aches for these young people. It really does. Race to the bottom that everybody's experiencing. And the big shift, of course, always, to my mind, came like the decade of the 80s. As soon as it turned from the 70s to the 80s, there was this lurch to the right. And then after a while it goes slowly to the left again, and then they lurch it back to the right. And it's always going to the right. It's always getting worse, getting harder for people to live, getting more expensive. And where is this all leading us? Planetary destruction. And the ones that are the most successful in society, and I will say this over and over again, are the ones that do the most harm. That is our definition of success. The enshitification, yes, that's what I call it. I think that's the only thing you can call it. You know, today I had to go out to an appointment, and I'm driving to this appointment, which is at the other end of town. And the traffic is unbelievable. It's just, you can't get there from here, right? I mean, it's just insane. And as I'm looking forward and seeing these miles and miles of cars just all spewing CO2, I was just thinking, how did we allow this to happen? And it always comes down to greed. It's not that we haven't had the solutions for years. It's just that the people that have the power and the money don't want to solve the problems because their wealth depends on it. And we've gotten to the point now where wealth takes precedence over all life on Earth. We will destroy the planet in order to stay wealthy. It's the truth. Nobody wants to admit it. And some people actually look up to people that have billions of dollars. Nobody needs to be a billionaire. Why aren't there limits on how much money you can accrue? What's the point? So, all the hopes we had of a better future for people, less hunger, less poverty, less violence, it's all out the window. Humans seem to be incapable of looking beyond their own ego. And I guess when we live in a narcissistic culture, you're going to have narcissistic leaders. But eventually, the narcissist world closes in on itself when they're faced with the reality. Some never get over it. I mean, I can't imagine getting to be old and having no wisdom, just still being stuck in this endless trap of ego. Burning Man, wow, that was more like Floating Man this year, wasn't it? Because everything turns to shit eventually. I used to not understand why the saying was youth is wasted on the young, but it's probably because as you get older, you start to acquire more knowledge and realize what a doofus you were. Apologies to my younger self, but hey, it's true, in my case anyway. I've always worn my heart on my sleeve, which is kind of a mistake. I've trusted people that I shouldn't have. And it's a learning experience. And you've got to ask yourself, as you see the number of years you have left shrinking, and I mean, nobody knows, it could be any day. You start to think of how foolish and vain people are, and how much they wish they were somebody else, or they were made to feel that they're not good enough. I mean, there's billions and billions and billions of people on this earth. And really, when you think of it, is anybody good enough for anything? That is the whole thing. You find what you're good at. Follow your dreams. Well, that doesn't usually work out. Yes, I'm still waiting. I followed my dreams. I lived my passion, and the money just never followed. I don't know where it went. It's just some sort of immutable law. I'm sure that you're reading all the self-help books. Self-help. There's something that just drives me crazy. All these people that buy stuff, these courses and everything that's promising to make them rich. The only one that's going to make rich is the people that are scamming people by selling them these stupid courses. Nobody understands the individual problems that each of us face, and they're all unique and they're all different. And does that mean that, like, we have the saying first world problems, which in a sense is right. Like, yeah, we compared to a lot of places, we have it pretty easy here in the West, relatively speaking. If you live in a culture where the only measure of your success is how much you earn or how many earth-destroying appliances you can buy and stuff in your garage till they're overflowing, and then you can't sell them and nobody wants them, and it gets, the possessions end up possessing you. And this is what most people do not realize, is that the more you possess, the more your possessions will possess you. Now here in Canada, I'm just bummed out, and I'll tell you why. It really looks like the Conservative Party of Canada, which is sort of our equivalent to the Republicans, are high in the polls, and it looks like they're going to be forming the next government. I mean, the leader that's wants to be PM has always been extreme right wing, and he just got this big makeover. They did his hair, and they gave him contacts instead of the horn rimmed glasses that he was always wearing, and he's voted against every progressive measure, and yet now he's coming across as a populist concerned about our housing. Yes, well, it's just like the Conservative Party here in Ontario concerned about housing. That's why Mr. Ford, who's flatulent and financial acumen, he used to, apparently there's a rumor that he used to sell drugs in Toronto. I don't know if it's true. It wouldn't surprise me, given how he's running the province. We've got conservative governments from coast to coast practically, with the exception of BC. But it seems like when people are facing tough times, they go for the right-wing populist types. And we usually follow the terrible governments that America elects that have a really big influence up here. Somebody said to me, they quoted that Robin Williams saying when he was in Canada, yeah, you have a really nice country. It's like somebody having a really nice apartment on top of a crack house or meth lab or something like that. And I responded, well, yeah, the meth lab has moved to take over the top floor too. I love being on YouTube because it gives me a sense of a sense of community with I mean, there's people that have followed me for years and years and years, and you get to know these people, or at least electronically, and it adds to your life. It adds to the richness of the experience of living. Sometimes when I'm feeling down, I hold a snapshot in my mind of the happy experiences that I've had over my lifetime. And sure, they don't add up to a huge amount of time, but they still make me smile, and I'm sure everybody has those snapshots they carry around in their heart. And I guess those are the most precious things that we can gain out of this experience of spinning around crazily on a decaying planet. Well, now that I've cheered you all up, take care, everybody, be well, and treat each other kindly, practice kindness wherever you can, because there's too much of the other stuff in the world. For every little action, positive or negative, there's a reaction. So if you're sending waves out into the cosmos, make sure they're positive. Thanks for listening. I'm not sure about the mini docs, if I'm going to keep going with them. They're a lot of work, and they don't seem to get much engagement. So I don't know. I'll see how I feel this week. Please stay in touch through the comments and any other methods you wish to communicate with me. They're all there. You just have to dig a little bit. Okay. That's it for this week. Peace.